Could have sliced it back to Son, who was coming in. Now, Lamela has got in behind Alonso way too easily, and thankfully couldn't get the cross in. And Alonso will get the chance to hook it clear now, and he's a lucky boy, because that was a bit sloppy, that, from Marcos Alonso. Just a little lapse.
Timo.
Now, Werner couldn't keep it. He's gone down right by Jose Mourinho, tells him to get up, and Aurier, that's a dreadful cross. That's easily caught by
Timo's got to hold that ball, Ben. Timo's got to hold that ball. I'm sorry, that ball has come into him. Mason's done brilliant again. He stuck it between his legs. They're looking at something here.
No, they're just looking at the little neat footwork from Lamela before he made a complete mess of the cross. But he's actually looked a little bit dangerous. Excuse me, Lucas Moura has robbed it, and then N'Golo's robbed it back, and Andre Mariner says that's a foul. In the middle of the Chelsea half, Tottenham have a free kick.
Yeah, he gets caught in two minds there, N'Golo. Didn't really, he's got his back to play as well, doesn't know what's behind him. Credit to Lucas Moura, who's picked his pocket, and it is a foul. It's a good, you know what, it's a good foul to give away, because they had men in advanced areas there.
Yeah, it's only good as long as it's cleared. 81 coming up.
When did they equalise in the League Cup then? It was around about 82, wasn't it?
Is it as late as that, Lamela? Son clips it towards Dyer and Aurier, and it's a header out by Jorginho, and then Timo Werner just volleys it clear. That will do. That is absolutely fine. All the way into the Tottenham half, Sissoko picks it up. Now get up the field a bit. That's it. Vinicius is with Son right next to him. I was looking to see if they'd left the defender up. Marcos Alonso rides a challenge and comes in field. Nicely done. Mason Mount now inside left channel, 40 yards from the Tottenham goal down there to our left. He gives it to Werner on this near side, the left wing. He'll do well to get through this crowd. He's taken Alvaro and put in not a bad cross. Ben Davies has chested it down. I thought for a minute it might go out for a corner. Reece James putting the pressure on means that Ben Davies has cleared it to Azpilicueta. The rebuild starts for Chelsea with Christensen and Jorginho. And now Rudiger, give it back to Aspi. Yes, he does. Well done. He saw the pass.
Well
we could see
Chelsea.
From up here. Very
really well
played.
done. Really composed, professional, keeping possession.
Onside Werner. Reece James in from the right. The ball now to Mason Mount in that right channel. Back to Aspi. Out to Reece James again on the far side, and back to Azpilicueta. That's 82 played. Into Pulisic and Mount and Pulisic again. This is really nice. And is that a foul, Andre Mariner? It is.
Soft again.
I mean, he's given umpteen softies today to both sides.
Free kick there. He's knocked the ball a little bit too far at his feet. My word, referee. Good grief. I'll take it.
Javier has laid his little finger on the stomach of Christian Pulisic, and that's for a free kick.
What's happened?
Yeah.
Chance though for Chelsea. It's a free kick. That's what would you say there, Ben? 10 yards.
Well, it's
outside the box. At 9 yards.
But therefore, because of the extra angle, so 10.
Yeah,
it's about a 30-yarder basically.
It's not a strike.
You know, it's Frank Lampard against Wembley in the 5-1, where Bale scored the one, incidentally, if you remember.
There's Chelsea players at that far post. Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Alonso, Christensen. Where is Christensen? Why can't I say Christensen?
Because he's last man back.
Okay,
right, Mason Mount's going to take it. He's going to clip it in towards Rudiger, who didn't quite get it. Højbjerg did. And Kanté plays it out to this near side. Alonso on this left wing for Chelsea. Takes on and beats Vinicius. Can he get across it? Instead, it's a clever short ball to Werner. Can he get across it? Well, there's no point, because there's only Pulisic in the box and 5 white shirts. I don't know if that's sensible or unambitious. Reece James wide right now. Into Mason Mount. They've worked it well here. Mount to Pulisic. Edge of the box. And it loops up in the air, and Lloris will catch and will bowl it out quickly to Lamela on this near side. And here comes N'Golo to the rescue.
N'Golo's big book, so he can't really go charging in there, and leaves it to Alonso. There's a bit of space on that left-hand side for Spurs, but Alonso, Lamela decides to go back inexplicably, Ben. You've seen that there. They didn't need a goal. He'd gone back to Dyer. Dyer goes back to Lloris. Lloris then has to play a long ball, and they've gone back again. Why has Lamela not done that? I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just finding that
Eric Dyer's never hit a forward pass in his life. Here he is now. Well,
but look what this has done. We're now higher up the pitch. Spurs are now struggling to get out.
Ben Davies has had to go long, and Andreas should deal with that with a diving header from the middle of his own half, all the way back to Edouard Mendy.
It's in the middle of his own half, isn't it? That is a back header in the middle of his own half.
I mean, that's some diving header. He's thrown everything at it.
If he gets it wrong, Ben.
Yeah, it's about a 30-yard diving header from about knee height all the way to Mendy. Yeah, I mean, you go to that much effort, well, just control it and pass it, Andreas. But anyway, he's doing that now. controlling it and passing it to Pulisic. Højbjerg comes and wins it from him now. And a little bit of fight ball in the middle there. Pulisic gets something on
Alonso's
Lucas
left
Moura.
his post.
Alonso has left his post, and this is Aurier in that post. And now Lucas Moura, right of centre, just outside the box. Tons of blue shirts back. Nowhere for Lucas Moura to go, apart from a cross to Højbjerg, who may be able to cross from that left. No, he goes short into Lamela. That's where all the traffic is. Back out again to Ben Davies. Well, Tottenham are so unambitious. Do you think they know they're behind? Maybe they think it's 0-0. Lucas Moura goes for a 25-yarder. It's miles off target.
Yeah, he's not got up to speed in this game, Pulisic. He's given the ball away 2 or 3 times and invited trouble. He's hasn't quite read the script here. Spurs are going to, in the last, you would have thought, 5 or 6 minutes of this game, looking to Chelsea have Chelsea got a goal kick. Mendy's now instructed, and rightly so, because Spurs are setting traps. You're looking for Rudiger, Christensen and Aspi all to go up. Wait to the bend, look at this. They've now waited until we go up. That's something that's been a bugbear of mine all season.
Him taking it when they were still on the job by the D.
Finally, we now get there. And any second ball, we've now condensed the pitch. The pitch is smaller. Well done, Timo, that's better.
And it works. Alonso on this near side, right by Thomas Tuchel. That'll be a foot in from Aurier. That'll be a Chelsea throw. Tottenham
work the line.
Well, he was gonna. He was just about. Oh no, he has worked the line, but he's worked the line backwards to Rudiger. Now back to Mendy. Draw Tottenham up, I suppose. Mendy clips it out. Reece James isn't going to keep that in, is he? No, he's not. Mendy, that is not a good clearance or pass. And that was needless. That came from a throw in here, which should have gone that way. Oh, when I say that way, folks, I'm putting to my left, the way Chelsea was supposed to be attacking. Lamela. This is Aurier, right corner of the box, near side as we look. Awkward. Son could pull it back here. N'Golo Kanté's gone with him. Aurier with a chance to cross. Timo Werner keeps him honest. Sissoko. None of them seem to want to cross. Well, Aurier's going to now, and there's plenty in the middle. Aurier's ball in, free header. Far post, nodded low and wide. There was the chance for young Vinicius, who's been waiting for that all night long, and it comes with 87 played. That could have been 1-1.
Come from Mendy's ball, come from this throw-in. We've asked for that. Inviting trouble. It's a brilliant ball in. It's a really, really brilliant ball in. He leaps. He should hit the target, Ben.
He has Lucas Moura
should score.
him.
He should score. Mendy's rooted to the floor.
Lucas Moura even better position behind him. That ought really to be 1-1.
We asked for that. We've got to make sure now we play in their half. Mendy's kick again. It's not a very good kick at all.
Lucas Moura's headed it forward to Vinicius, who's played it into Son. No. Oh, he's given it. Foul against Azpilicueta.
Sorry, what's going on when Mendy's kicking? What was that? It's almost like a floaty ball. He's chipped it into that area. Put pace on it, put height on it, put distance on it.
Right, this is 26, 27 yards out. It is only just right of centre. Right foot or left foot could hit it. Probably wishes he had Bale on now. Azpilicueta judged to have fouled Son. Sure, he could have really got out the way. Son. Anyway, it's big of it. I actually think it was a little closer to goal than that, so I'll take this for the fact they seem to have placed it about a yard further away than the foul happened. I was just looking at the stripes. Now, Lamela left or Dyer right. If it's going to be a shot, percentage-wise, one hopes they do have a shot, because normally these are about 1 in 50, aren't they? Let's have a look. There's a 3-man Chelsea wall in the D of James, Pulisic and Werner.
Follow this up.
Yes, look out for the scraps. Dyer takes a few steps back. I think it's going to be him. Lamela's moved away. It's going to be Eric Dyer, and it's wide.
Yeah, it's not a great strike at all. Bending wide.
Mendy would have had it anyway.
Yeah, he would have done. Wasn't it? No pace. There wasn't the Torga in the corner at all. Just look at that, Ben. How we really asked for trouble. You know, we've now got another goal kick. Mendy, put your foot through this. Get it into their half. Lucas Moura won that header.
Agreed. On the halfway line. Mendy away there to our right. 89 played. Stoppage time coming soon. Mendy has floaty side against Sissoko. Wins it this time, then not Højbjerg. Reece James is in, thankfully, for the challenge. Timo Werner on the chase. keeping Alderweireld from doing something he'd have preferred to do. Dyer wins a header. There's Sissoko. It's all happening this in the Tottenham half, though, in their right back position. Sissoko has to go all the way back. He's waited that well, actually, to be fair to Lloris. That was about the only way out of that. We're 10 seconds away from finding out how much stoppage time as Sissoko clips one up towards Son, who flicks the header towards Vinicius. There's Andreas Christensen to boot it back into Tottenham territory. N'Golo's onside here. Timo Werner was the one coming back from an offside position, and now Werner's in the box with a chance to shoot. Oh, it's a good hit, and he's walloped it straight at Eric Dyer. How much did the board just hold up there, Jason? Oh, here we go. Long ball forward. 3. Wow, you don't get that very often. We'll take it. Here's Ben Davies coming forward for Tottenham. Lucas Moura now, and it might drop for Lamela. It won't. Alonso's there to boot it clear. That's a good hit, that, from Werner. 20 seconds play to stoppage time. 3 minutes we're into. Chelsea about to overtake Tottenham by 3 points, having trailed them by goal difference, and indeed overtake Everton and go 6th, closing in on Liverpool. Who'd have thought it? It's unbelievable, the Premier League picture. It really is. Thomas Tuchel has had that going for him as well in his tiny amount of time in charge. Everyone else dropping millions of points. Here's Sissoko, and now Aurier and Lamela inside right channel. Repel, clipped ball in, it's awkward. Andreas Christensen got a head on it. Reece James bravely comes out and wins it ahead of Højbjerg. We've had one of the added 3 minutes, and Reece James should clear up that right touchline. He does. Nicely done. Mason Mount draws the challenge, which brings a Chelsea throw on that far side. Everyone breathe for a moment.
Oh, Ben,
nearly there, Jay. Nearly
Ben,
there.
I'm having kittens here, mate. Honestly, with this game now, I cannot believe that we've got to this stage of the game and I'm feeling like this. But we've been excellent, Ben. This is a really, really brilliant 3-point. If we can just get past the next 2 minutes plus, whatever the referee decides to add on top of that. Work the line, go down the line, don't go back.
We're going to have to call him Thomas Tuchel nil at this rate. He's got
Timo
3
Werner.
Clean sheets in waiting. Tottenham have got it on the halfway line. We've got about just over 1 added minute to go. Centre circle, here's Sissoko. And now Lamela in front of Mourinho on this near side, the Tottenham right wing. He cuts infield, but you're wasting your own time with passes backwards like that. That's fine by us. There's Lamela again. It's going to have to be more expansive now. He does go for Dyer, far side. Well, they're just hitting crossfield balls. Alonso with a big header out towards the halfway line. Alderweireld heads it back into the middle of the Chelsea half. Jorginho's header. Werner can't hang on to it. Aurier through to Son. Lamela. It's not a bad ball through the middle to Højbjerg. Here's Son. He turns. Lucas Moura. Son has blazed it over, and that'll surely be that. Mind you, 18 yards out, that's a decent chance for a player of his quality.
It was,
but
Ben,
well over the bar.
It was a chance. It was. They played that little ball in around the edge of that box there. Højbjerg plays the ball into Son. He plays it back to Lucas, who gets the ball back, ricocheted off Marcus Alonso. It comes back, edge of the box, drills it, goes over the top of the bar.
It's a terrible shot.
Ben, by my reckoning, the ref, once this has been kicked, the referee will blow.
That's their second best chance of this game after the Vinicius header. Job done, folks. 3 minutes played. Mendy's going to clear. And Tuchel's telling him to get it long and get on with it. All eyes on you, Andre Mariner. Well done, Alonso, to win the header that plants it into Tottenham territory. Lloris plays it out to Ben Davies. A look at the watch from Andre Mariner again. Ben Davies is going to lump it up towards the Chelsea box, and there goes the whistle. Thomas Tuchel pumps his fists. 3 played, 7 points out of 9, not a goal conceded. This was twitchy by the end. It was really good in the first half. It was scarier in the second, but there's no doubting that Chelsea are the better side ever.
Absolutely, Ben. Wow, it was nervier than it should have been. Brilliant performance in that first half. Slightly different in the second. Spurs were shocking. Let's first half they were dreadful, but it's all about us. Couldn't care less about them. Well played us. Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Timo up top at the beginning, with a width there from our wide men in Reece James and Marcus Alonso. The movement, the keeping the ball, the pivot. The pivot between those little 2 midfielders of Cover and Jorginho, controlling the tempo, orchestrating everything. Defensively solid, brilliant performance, and what a victory this is as we go above Spurs. Top 4 is now back on the menu.
Closing the gap in no time at all. Thomas Tuchel is going around there with his big puffy coat on and he's hugging Mason Mount and Reece James and Jorginho, and job done. Jose Mourinho's out there on the field too as the Chelsea players walk down the tunnel. I can see Jorginho there. He is the match winner thanks to his first half penalty. Chelsea much the better side, but made to cling on just a little. In fairness, Mendy's barely made a save in the game. Upwardly mobile. The table looks very different already. All the other results for the other various rivals have taken such a downturn in the week since Thomas Tuchel took over. And Chelsea have taken 7 points from 9 under him. Job done, with a little bit of worrying. Full time at Spurs. It's Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. Wonderful. See you soon.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. Chelsea 1, Spurs 0. That's what we wanted, wasn't it? Bragging rights for the Blues. Jorginho's first half penalty was enough to secure 3 points and inflict Jose Mourinho's first ever back-to-back home league defeats. That's an entire managerial career. Staggering, absolutely stunning. Jakes, obviously you're at the game for us today. I'm sure everybody, even if you weren't even watching on telly, somehow you'd have heard it out your window, heard your cheer at full time there, mate.
Oh gosh, honestly. It was just shocking. I couldn't enjoy that. I had my stopwatch on. I was looking at the stopwatch. Lamela kept cutting him with his left foot. They were giving a free kick away, and then it bounced to Son, and the header for Vinicius. Then, look, we thoroughly deserved it. But a 1-0, you know, and they know they're still very much in the game, and it just takes a delivery from Sergio Aurier like it was. And if that's Harry Kane, it's probably going to end up 1-1. In all honesty, which again they didn't deserve to get anything out of. But look. Well played, boys. First half was excellent. Second half was different. They had to be a little bit different, Spurs, because they were dreadful. But what a win. What a win. Well played. Brilliant to be here as well.
Glenn, exactly what Jason just said there. First half, dominant, complete control. Second half, you knew there was going to be a reaction. And we mentioned at half-time that they needed to offer something different because they didn't really partake or engage at all in the first half, Spurs. So there's you've kind of got the best of both for Thomas Tuchel, I suppose, in the way that you see when it's going really well, how well it can go in the first 45 minutes. And second half, when a team's coming onto you, you've got to dig in. He's going to take a huge amount of confidence from tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And as you know, in football, games are not always going to go your way. And if this Chelsea side want to, start fighting for the title again, which I'm sure they will do, they're going to need to ride the storm and put teams to bed when they can. So, like you say, look, Tottenham couldn't have been any worse in the first half, so you knew that was going to improve in the second half. But Chelsea dealt with it. And to be honest, even when Tottenham had a bit of possession, they only looked like scoring literally that Venetian header. Other than that, they weren't really doing anything, were they?
But Pat, it was exactly as Glenn's just said there. They had it had chances, but they were kind of half chances. Like Jason's already pointed out, if Harry Kane's playing, it's a different matter because he makes half chances, very good chances, doesn't he, because of his quality. But in terms of overall dominance, it's 3 points well deserved and well earned tonight.
I love the control of our team and the liveliness and the sharpness of the team for the vast majority of the game. And we got ourselves into brilliant positions, playing it out from the back when they had to push on to us. The amount of times we just passed through them. Mason Mount does his turn, gets into areas. I love there was moments of Kovacic when he was driving away from players. It was a joy to watch driving into those areas. We didn't always make the best of those chances, but quite a few times we came close to scoring the second goal. Second goal is in. It's a piece of cake. It's an absolute cruise. We will not have that, that edgy last 10 minutes that we had. But, a team's 1-0 down. They've nothing to lose. They might as well have a go. We were seriously deserving of that win. And to be fair, 3 games, no goals lost. Come on, that's pretty good. That is pretty good.
First Chelsea manager to do that in his first 3 games since Jose Mourinho. So, I mean, it says a huge amount. Abby, they don't come much better than turning up to Spurs and beating them in convincing fashion like tonight, does it?
Exactly. Just the absolute sweetest. I think we played so well. I'm just so glad that we did take away the 3 points because, there were definitely some sticky moments, but I think we played well and, we made sure that we took home the points. So many people in the app, as you can imagine, are just celebrating, flexing the bragging rights as they would. So Felix just saying, loving Tuchel at the wheel, the way that he keeps changing up tactics. A lot of people showing love to Werner as well, playing the best, I think, that he has so far. Saidi saying that and Josh C as well. Also, Paul M just saying it's the win we needed, isn't it? To really get us back to winning ways and really gain a bit of momentum.
Definitely.
Jace, there was a bit of a mix-up where it looked like Chelsea might have got a second with Eric Dyer kind of overcooked a back pass to Lloris, and it looked like maybe there's something going to go on there. It felt like that, didn't it? It felt like there was definitely a difference today in the second half in the way that Chelsea pressed, and you cause big teams to have problems like that, don't you? I mean, it was obviously on a slippy pitch and everything, but that was kind of what Chelsea have forced them into.
Yeah, and they themselves, actually, I think that they surprised us a little bit. They played a little bit higher up the pitch. They caused us 1 or 2 half problems. I think some of the times, actually, we were probably architects of our own downfall. In particular, I think Mendy at times encourages that press. Instead of making his decision up early and making that pass early, he can labour a little bit, and in doing that, just invites them another 3 or 4 yards. But the other end, Mason doesn't stop running. I mean, he was outstanding, Mason. Honestly, he gives you so much off the ball, but on the ball as well. He's more than that. He's got great ability, the lad. Maybe could have done a little bit better with some of the chances first half. Maybe that's been a little bit harsh on him, but he's just honestly, he's wonderful to watch, Mason. Especially up here, you get a different view up here of watching what he does and the energy, closing down, encouraging. And he drags people with him. And look, what a performance. The little pivot between Kova and Jorginho in there. I don't know how Ngolo's going to get in there, in all honesty. I don't, because the way that we play in there, who do you take out right now? And if you do, you're looking at a slightly more defensive setup because of the way he plays. Kova and they're just brilliant. Honestly, brilliant team performance. Every single one of them excellent today. So proud of
Glenn, I want to carry on with the Mason Mount point because, like Jason said, every single week he gives you an 8, 9, 10 out of 10 performance in terms of his energy, in how much he creates as well. He's one of the only 4 players in the league that's created more than 50 chances this season. That's with like Bruno, Kevin De Bruyne, and Jack Grealish. So the company he's keeping at that top end probably doesn't get the credit he deserves outside of Chelsea, but internally we obviously value him highly. What have you made of his season overall, and how important he's become to Chelsea in terms of not just under Frank Lampard, but now under Thomas Tuchel as well? Yeah,
look, I think he's done absolutely brilliant. I think what impresses me the most is he's just not phased, and he's what I call a proper footballer in the sense that he finds himself, because sometimes the best movement in football is to stand still, and he gets himself in great little areas, and he almost occupies 2 of the opponents all the time because he's just deep enough that if somebody can get the ball to him with the right pace on it, he takes 2 people out of the game. And like Pat was talking about with his turns, when he does that and gets faced up with the defenders, something's going to happen. He's very sharp. He's very mentally sharp. And I think, look, once he starts adding a bunch of goals to it, I think he will get the credit outside of Chelsea that he deserves.
Pat, just on that, because Glenn mentioned there, you were telling us just before we come on air about the way that he's always his body shape is always open, and he takes quite a lot of fouls on that because straight away he's looking to get on the front foot and he's trying to affect the game by going forward, isn't he?
He is. I spent my whole life getting individual moves from all the players that I knew, the best ones, and take the best move out of it, because most players have got a favourite move, particularly attack-minded players have got a favourite one, and Mason's is quite clearly taking it on a half-turn, rolling a player, and he either gets a foul or he gets past him. It's a brilliant move because the worst you get is a foul and sometimes a yellow card against you, which gives you more space the next time. It's a great move, but you have to have very good technical ability to be able to take it and move it in one movement. A tiny little worry about it that you can get some bad injuries doing that. And I hope he gets a little bit more protection than he got tonight. I mentioned at half-time, I thought some of the tackles that are hammering in from the Spurs players were a bit iffy. They didn't stop in the second half, and I thought the referee was a wee bit light with some of them because Mason could have been badly injured. Let's just hope he keeps powering up, keeps strong, and he gets a little bit more protection. But at the moment, I don't think there's any argument at all. He was the man of the match tonight by a distance.
Abby, the other massive positive is, in a very strange way, didn't see Hakim Ziyech tonight. Kai Havertz obviously not in the squad. Christian Pulisic come off the bench. N'Golo Kanté came off the bench. Billy Gilmour not involved. Chelsea have had a wealth of riches in terms of personnel and the squad depth this season. But like Jason's already pointed out, the 11 that are starting games now, especially in the midfield areas, you can't really make a case for other players coming in. So when players like N'Golo Kanté do come off the bench, you go, oh yeah, we've got N'Golo Kanté to bring on as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was such an amazing team performance tonight, wasn't it? And then you've still got all these players on the bench as well. I mean, Tuchel's definitely got a bit of a headache who to select for the next game, in my opinion.
Glenn, with Reece James as well tonight, because I thought again he was superb, and when he did almost he kind of interchanged with Callum Hudson-Odoi at times, didn't he? Where Callum would go wider and we would come inside. That kind of partnership, especially in the bigger games, in the games where perhaps we need to be a little bit more defensively minded, that will benefit Chelsea as well. Now that Callum's played as a wing back, he'll understand the role a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And the young guys, and the more the time they spend playing with each other, they're going to learn a lot about each other. But as I mentioned at the start of the show, sometimes you can be isolated as the far wing back. So it's an easy move, but you just stay closer to everyone, stay closer to the ball. And sometimes, like you say, you could be in the middle of the park, and then you just got to keep an eye out to see where your teammates are. And as long as you're all occupying the spaces, then you can make it very, very dangerous for the opponents. And I think that's what impressed me at the moment with Chelsea. They're staying very close to each other and occupying all the spaces. So if they make a mistake and they lose the ball, they're close enough to pounce and try and win it back.
Jace, Andreas Christensen obviously came on in the first half. Thiago Silva got the injury. Obviously, we don't know. We've got no idea how bad that is or how long Thiago will be out for. Hopefully, everyone's got their fingers crossed that he'll be fit and firing as soon as possible. But it's a good opportunity for Andreas Christensen. How does he fit in a back three instead of a back four?
He's better in a back three for me. That's just the way his role is. At times I'd like him to be a little bit more like a John Terry type of centre half. I stick your head in where it hurts, and sometimes it does hurt. But I think the back three suits him. He's got either side of him, and I think he's better with the ball at his feet than the other two. And I think that the way that he will play in this system will suit him better than coming into a back four. I think at times he's struggled a little bit this season. There's the goal that we conceded against Aston Villa. He took a little bit of a stick for that, where he went on the ground and perhaps, got a whack. Can you get yourself up and get back defending it and then get treatment afterwards? But look, he coped admirably. Didn't look out of place at all. Absolutely fine. And if we play this system, which we obviously are right now, he's the perfect fit for that middle of the three.
Pat, as well, I'm posing this question because I've seen a few people mention it online, and I suppose because of the way that England played in the Euros, it feels like a million years ago in the World Cup, sorry, a long time ago. But in terms of a free to back and Kyle Walker occupying that third centre half spot, in the games where Chelsea can have a lot more possession and potentially Hudson-Odoi play as a wing back, can you see maybe Reece playing one of the three?
He could play that easy without a shadow of a doubt. He can also play centre midfield. He's brilliant in that position, as he showed when he was out on loan. He got player of the season. However, you're wasting him, I have to say, because he's going to give you so much going forward. I would rather he was a little bit further up the field. But in extremis, definitely go for that. There was one or two players I'm beginning to think about. It's early days, but the way we are playing in the system we are playing, we're not we're not really a Tammy or a Giroud type team at the moment. You know, we're playing a very, very different way to that. And at the moment, the two players, I think, are going to find it toughest maybe to break in for a wee while. I mean, it's amazing because Tammy got a hat-trick the other week there. And Giroud has been unbelievable for us. But just in that specific way we're playing just now, I just hope and expect that Thomas Tuchel will look at it and think, right, okay, that's worked for 3 or 4 games. This game needs something totally different. And then the big guns, those guys come back in again because we will need them. And maybe going forward, you're talking about which players are going to be moved out, you know, mentioned by Abby there. Well, in actual fact, we've got 7 games in February. And they're not all going to play. And Ben Chilwell's going to have to come back and give Marcus a little bit of a break. I'm just delighted we've got such a strong squad. And it is wow strong at the moment because we brought on players there. And all the players I brought in, I thought, yeah, he'll do. Plenty more to come.
Abby, that's the thing, isn't it? After a big game like tonight, when you get the 3 points, all these problems are they're smiling headaches, aren't they? They're going, oh, we've got so many players to fit in now, which is a great position to be in. And I suppose the thing for Chelsea fans and the reason that Chelsea fans will get so excited is, like Pat just said, got a lot of games coming up, but before Christmas, when we had a stack load of games, Chelsea's rotation was one of Chelsea's main strengths and main assets. They've got so many players that can come in and fulfill these games. Where you look at other squads in the league, they look quite thin on the ground at times.
Yeah, I think that's one of our strengths at the moment, isn't it? Just the depth of our squad. And from what I've sort of read about Tuchel, he's really happy to rotate the squad, isn't he? Switch up formations. He's got a real tactical brain. So although what we've seen so far has been quite similar from him, God knows what's coming next. And he's got quite the selection to choose from, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And Glenn, how did Chelsea move on from tonight then? Because obviously we all saw this as almost like a line in the sand moment to see, firstly, under the Thomas Tuchel regime, how the players would step up to a big challenge. They've got a good result tonight against a decent side, perhaps weren't at their best, but it's still a tough task to overcome. What do they take for the rest of the season then from tonight?
Well, look, they know. Look, Tottenham, I know they didn't perform well, like you say, but they're still a top side that are going to be fighting for the top 4. So they should take a lot of confidence from it. They dominated, the game from start to finish, and they got to look at it. They've got Sheffield United next and Newcastle, 2 struggling sides. That if as long as they take the same approach as today into them games, you'd like to think they can start building some real momentum and start closing it in the point gap for 4th.
Absolutely. Well, Chelsea, I think 4 points off top 4 now, 2 points behind Villa in 5th. So again, like you said there, Glenn, you get 2 decent results in a week, and all of a sudden that points gap at the moment, the way football is, you could be 4th.
Absolutely,
you could be 4th in 10 days.
Yeah, a couple of weeks in the Premier League is a long time now, isn't it? It's mad. There's a few points. Like look at United. Jesus, no one would have expected this at the start of the season, or even in the first half of the season. So it can change very, very quickly.
For this one. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Don't forget, coming up on the 5th stand, you can get all the post-match reaction from tonight's game and see highlights of the match a little bit later on. Definitely going to be staying up for that one. Tomorrow, we'll be bringing you live action from the PL2 from 7 p.m. Chelsea versus Arsenal, with our position at the top of the table at stake, of course. And on Sunday, we have a bumper day of football with the women taking on Brighton at 2 p.m. And then Sunday evening, join us again. Get your Sunday dinner dealt with early because we are on at 6:05. Chelsea taking on Sheffield United in the Premier League. Back-to-back wins at Spurs for Chelsea for the first time since 2005. Yes, Jose Mourinho was in the dugout for that one as well. Loads to look forward to. What a night. Chelsea beating Spurs away from home. 3 points secured. Bragging rights in the bag as well. London is blue. Good night.